I'm gonna go over the. Oh, shit!
Kitty.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Galactic Nerd Outpost. I'm your host, it's the man who's back, who's whack, who's keeping you all on track. It's me, Kaiju, Cody, Branch, and me and the boys here are going to show you where it's at. Hey! Okay, so what we got here is, in case you couldn't tell, is a Kaiju Authors Roundtable. That's a bunch where we get a bunch of people who write their silly fan fictions. I mean, original works, totally not repurposed fan fictions, and put them out there for the whole world to see.
I resemble that statement.
I do too. So there you go. So as you already probably know by now, I hope you know after me being here for so long, and after that overly long introduction, I am your host, Kaiju Cody. This is again a no Gojin allowed because, well, he doesn't write or read, that dyslexic fuck. And then also here we have a series regular, Zach Cole.
Hello.
And then we have
last stream.
Yes, you were. And then we have on this show, but not this channel, for the very first time, we have the man, the myth, the legend, the delicious and nutritious, the immortal Andres Perez, aka Kaijunoir.
Hello, people of the internet. Also, did you just do a Bill homage at the very start?
Maybe? I do so many references and quotes that I often forget where they come from.
He does them like unconsciously sometimes.
Yes. I think he means subconsciously.
Subconsciously, that's probably the right word.
See, it's mistakes like this why he came crawling to me, begging me to help him complete his story, because he knew I was so much better than him.
I did not beg you. I just asked if you wanted to.
And I agreed. You're welcome.
Don't make it seem like I came to beg you to do it. Hello?
You know what I like about podcasts?
What's that?
This.
Wait, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, it just all went quiet for a second. All I heard was static.
Yeah. Now we can hear you, Cody.
Sorry. I think that there was just a little... I don't know what happened. But okay, here's what we're going to do. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. Knock on wood. But, so I have 10 questions prepared for us for everyone here.
Just 10?
Yeah, trust me, it gets long on this podcast sometimes. Like, you have no idea.
Yeah, I can't be on that long.
Oh,
gotcha. I know, I'm just joking around.
Did you want me to go for 69?
Yeah, boy!
Giggity.
Alice is saying, I have returned. Oh, where'd you return from? Where'd you come from? Where'd you go? Where'd you come from, Cotton Eye Joe?
Hi, Gidget. Yeah, that's right. Huh.
Okay, so, like I lost my train of thought. Damn it, autism's a bitch. Now, Andreas, you're new to this show, but you've actually been on this channel before. Joey K had you on to review the anime trilogy with him way back when this channel first started. Basically, he's trying to convince his celebrity crush that it was that the anime trilogies were good. The results were he did not.
Which they were not.
But Gojin's in the chat. He says those videos aged like ass on my part. LOL. I mean, yeah. Oh well. Hey Gojin, my stream is still going and is over 6 hours in. We've descended into madness in the realm of long. Okay, Sea Monsters SA, good for you. But okay, I'll ask.
Too long.
Here's how we go. I'll ask the questions, and then Andrea, since you're the guest, you'll answer first. Then we'll go to Zach, and then I'll give my own version.
And then his son.
Yeah,
and then his son.
He clearly wants to join in.
Yes.
You want to say hi, Dean? Say hi. No, he's watching his movie.
Okay.
Ah, is it Ultraman Rising?
I try to get him to watch that. No, he's watching The Secret Life of Pets.
You need to
Oh, yeah,
start
that's
over.
very popular with kids.
You need to start over. Get you a Sam.
What?
You have a Dean. Get you a Sam.
We can't even have any more kids.
Oh, my bad. Abyss Kaiser says, "Sup, Corn Julios?
I am the great Cornholio.
Any TP for my bunghole." Okay,
My bunghole got rocket.
now he didn't like that joke.
I guess not.
We'll start off with the first question here, trying to get things back on track. Even though we went off the rails on a crazy train. Rest in peace, Ozzy Osbourne. Question number 1: how did you get into kaiju and or mecha? Andres, take it away.
Now, were you just doing the what's that guy's name? The guy like number 15.
Oh.
Good lettuce.
I was trying to go for Casey Kasem.
Okay.
Dean didn't like my Casey Kasem impersonation.
He can't even hear you guys. I don't know what he's getting upset about.
Oh no!
Maybe he's gone to a very intense part of the movie.
Oh,
I don't know. What's up, buddy?
It's a very emotional part.
He's a very emotional kid.
maybe you got to this. Okay, you go on ahead, Andres.
Yes, how I got into kaiju and mecha entertainment. Yeah, like anybody here, I was into dinosaurs. Grew up on a lot of media revolving around them: Jurassic Park, Barney the Dinosaur, Power Rangers, Extreme Dinosaurs, so on and so forth. And eventually, my interest in dinosaurs led me to my parents introducing me to Godzilla. And it was through Godzilla and Power Rangers that I was also introduced to the mecha genre, in which case, while Power Rangers introduced me to giant robots, it was Gundam Wing and G Gundam that solidified my love for giant robots. Eventually, around the time of like high school and college, I started discovering the wider online Godzilla community, in which point I discovered a lot more out there aside from just Godzilla and Power Rangers, and to a lesser extent, Gamera. Then I was discovering about all kinds of various franchises, and it wouldn't be until I moved to Japan where I started to go outside my comfort zone and started watching more stuff beyond Godzilla. And so that's how I got into Kamen Rider, Garo, Super Sentai, pretty much anything created by Kei Tamamiya, with stuff like Zoram, Hakaider, Tekoki Mikazuki, and stuff like that. So yeah, it was kind of like a snowball effect where it started out with just Godzilla, Kaiju, and eventually went down. It was all downhill from there as the snowball got bigger and bigger. As for giant robots, I mentioned Power Rangers, Gundam. Really, it was around 2013 with Pacific Rim came out. It inspired me to get into classic super robots, which was how I ended up falling in love with the likes of Giant Robo, Mazinger Z, Guy King, and especially Getter Robo. And it was those films, those mangas in particular, that would ultimately lead me to want to create something of my own with Primal Warrior Draco Azul.
Awesome. Well, that answers the second question I was going to ask, but I'll ask Zach later anyways. So, you basically got... Darn it, I had a joke, but I forgot it. Anyways, never mind. Zach, you go next.
So, like, same with what he was saying, dinosaurs, and then Power Rangers for mecha. But my big thing, I'll get into Kaiju in a second. My big thing is with mecha was Pacific Rim debuted its first trailer, and people were like, "Oh, it's like Evangelion," and I was like, "What is Evangelion?" And I looked it up, and I watched the whole series, and hi, Flash, and that was my big introduction into mecha. And then as for Kaiju or Godzilla, and specifically, my mother worked at Hollywood Video for a while, and my sister brought home Mothra versus Godzilla, and that was That was my first introduction into Godzilla when I was like 2.
Ah, I see. So, even though you went into detail first on Mecha, you actually were introduced to Kaiju first.
Yes.
Yes, right on. I see. Right on. Y'all sound like you took the cultured approach to getting into Kaiju and Mecha. I myself also took this. Wait, did you have any more to say about the question, Zach?
I don't think so.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because I didn't want to cut you off.
You're
cut
fine.
you off. Okay, but my basically my approach was basically the same as your guys's. I too grew up loving dinosaurs, and the 90s was the perfect time to be into dinosaurs because dinosaurs had always been popular up to that point, but it seemed like there was just a mecca of dinosaur media coming out at that specific time. You already mentioned a bunch of them, Andreas, but there was so much more even still. The list went on and on and on and on. Don't stop dinosauring. Sorry, I won't do that again.
I don't believe you.
I don't believe me either. But while I was in my fury of being fascinated with dinosaurs, I stumbled across the Hanna-Barbera Godzilla's series on Cartoon Network while I was waiting for reruns of Scooby-Doo. I didn't know what a rerun was at the time. I just knew that I loved Scooby-Doo and I wanted to watch it. Instead, here's this badass fire-breathing dinosaur. So I'm just like, yes, I'm all in. No more Scooby-Doo. I'm kidding, of course. I kept watching Scooby-Doo, but I was obsessed with this particular dinosaur. Then I would see my first actual Godzilla movie sometime later. I saw Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, Godzilla versus Gigan, and Godzilla versus Megalon in that continuing succession. And I was hooked. Godzilla was instantly my favorite thing from that day. And it felt great having a dinosaur superhero that breathes fire that I could cheer for so much. Then I saw Godzilla 1985. Oh no. But I'm just kidding. I loved Godzilla 1985, even though it scared the fuck out of me the first time. And it went on from there. And I've been of course, I would have eventually learned about other kaiju. Oh, it was also through my love for kaiju that I ended up getting a love for Mecha too. Because, well, obviously, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla was my first movie. And at the same time, Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers had come out, and that was a big thing. It catered to 2 of my loves. Well, 3 actually. Giant robots, giant dinosaurs, and giant monsters. So, and then from there I took this, basically a similar journey to like what Andreas mentioned before. And so, there we have it. The moral of the stories is, thank you, dinosaurs.
Yes, thank you to the dinosaurs that are now dead.
Yes.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Rest in power!
I had to mute my mic that whole time because there was a bunch of chaos in my living room.
I could tell.
Well, my son's autistic, so as you all know.
Hey, I'm not pointing no fingers. I'm not judging. As you probably could guess by now, I myself am quite autistic.
No, I know. I just know you can understand where
I understand. Okay. Oh.
Shut up, Joey. I'm going to shove a shotgun up your butt and pull the trigger.
We'll go to question number 2. That's sort of an extension of number 1. What's your favorite kaiju and or mecha movie, book, show, game, and comic book? Andreas, take it away.
Let's see. So, favorite movie, that would easily be Godzilla, Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster.
Nice.
Let's see. Book, favorite kaiju. Now, Are you talking about favorite kaiju mecha book, or favorite kaiju book and favorite kaiju book, a mecha book? Or are we just talking like just one for each media?
One for each media.
Okay, so yeah, Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster. Book, that would be, let's see. That would be Robo, the manga.
Nice.
What's the third one?
Video game.
Hang on.
Video game, that would be, in general, any Super Robot Wars, because it's kind of like Smash Brothers. It's hard to say which Smash Brothers is the best one because each one is just simply like an improvement over the last one, and that's the case with Super Robot Wars. But because it's the last game that I played, I'll just say Super Robot Wars T. What's the next one?
I had said comic book, but you kind of already answered that.
Oh,
with your
okay, so a
Robo.
novel. Okay, so yeah, my favorite comic is Robo. My favorite novel would be, let's see, it's a tough one.
Cernacia, Rise of the Guardian.
Now that's just being biased because I worked on it.
Indeed.
It might be Kong, King of Skull Island. I just think that that was just such a wonderful love letter to the world of Miriam C. Cooper's King Kong. Works brilliantly as both a sequel and prequel, and it eventually kickstarted the whole Joe DeVito universe of Kong, riding off the heels of the 1933 original. And was there anything else besides that?
Nope. We basically covered all the bases with you, and I gotta say, you made some really great choices, especially when it came to Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster and Kong's King of Skull Island. When I came across that book in the library, it just sort of just knocked my socks off because I didn't even know it existed. I'm like, what is this? And I read it, and I loved it.
Awesome.
Oh, and also, Abyss Kaiser, Gojin, stop flirting each other in the chat. Shut up. Okay,
Yeah,
Zach,
nasties.
Zach, it's your turn to answer the question. What's your favorite kaiju and or mecha movie, book, video game, and comic book?
All right, so everyone knows I'm autistic about Nemesis. When it comes to the Nemesis series.
Really? I hadn't noticed.
What? I never noticed when the moment I looked and read that book and it was like, Zach Cole?
Yeah.
How'd you get in here?
Yeah.
Breaking news right here on the Galactic Nerd Outpost podcast.
In book 3, I'm a character in it. But I think my favorite out of the whole series is the newest 2023 adaptation. Or not adaptation, but version.
Well,
and I'm kind of biased because I helped design her in that book.
Hey, at least we can all agree on one thing. Any Nemesis book is better than that bullshit Gore book.
Yeah, so stupid.
I know. Oh,
it's not like we worked on it or nothing.
We're totally not the co-authors of it at all.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
By the way, Gore versus Book 1, Gore versus the Cryptid Kaiju is available on Amazon now. Please buy it. We're starving.
Yes.
No, I have a family to feed.
Yeah, I do have a family to feed. You've heard them on here.
I need to feed my family or else I'll feed on them.
Yes.
But
Dean's a little chubby.
wait,
He needs to have some meat.
We still got to answer the most important question. Who would win in a fight? Zach Cole or Zach Cole?
The answer is yes, always.
Well, Zach Cole, because he's secretly an alien, but spoilers, but
Which Zach Cole was that?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Clearly, it's Zach Cole.
Yeah.
I just thought that was obvious.
Yeah.
Okay, so you answered book. Go for the rest.
So, favorite kaiju movie would be Gamera 2 Attack of Legion.
Very nice.
That's like my favorite kaiju movie ever. And what was the other ones?
Game and comic book. Game and comic book.
Favorite kaiju game?
Video games.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think. Probably Save the Earth. Godzilla Save the Earth.
Right on.
And comic book would be, well, the Project Nemesis adaptation. All right. As for Mecha, favorite movie is Pacific Rim.
Mm-hmm.
Could Doom the Dark Ages count? Yes, it could. And if it was specifically giant monsters, I would say that. And Mecha for video game, maybe I can say that for Mecha because you play as a mech in that game.
For sure.
And Mecha comic book.
If you don't have an answer, that's fine.
If the answer is anything but Get a Robo, that is Slander.
Well, maybe Draco Azul.
That is not Slander.
He had to rethink there for a moment. He's like, wait a minute. No, that's a good answer.
That's a good answer. And so I had movie, video game, and comic. Is that all of them?
Do you have a favorite Mecha book? A novel?
Oh, novel.
Yeah.
I don't think I've read a lot of actual Mecha novels.
Oh, that's fine.
I would recommend the United States of Japan trilogy.
Okay. Yeah, I'll look into that.
Like
Unity.
Which is also written by Jeremy Robinson.
Yes, because it's about the only one I've read.
You freaking Jeremy Robinson stan.
I am, and I don't give a crap.
As well you shouldn't. Love what you love.
Right.
As for my answer to any of these questions, okay. Favorite kaiju movie? It's not recency bias, I swear. But it's the God's honest truth. It goes back and forth between Godzilla King of the Monsters
I knew that was coming.
And Godzilla -1.
They're not bad choices.
I like King of the Monsters simply because monsters go burr really, really good in that movie.
Yes, they do.
There are other reasons, but that's the main one. And Godzilla -1, well, the reputation speaks for itself.
Yeah, you don't even have to explain that one.
Like, no, not at all. Favorite Mecha movie? Obviously, it's Pacific Rim. Pacific Rim's the GOAT.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Favorite novel? Well, damn. This is harder than I thought because I've read a bunch of them and I love all the ones I've read. But if I had to be perfectly honest, there's this one called Xernasia, Rise of the Guardian that I like really, really much.
Is there a mecha in that?
No, but it has a kaiju and it goes burr really good. I'm kidding. I'm not gonna do my own book, but in all honesty, my favorite book is probably Chimera: Scourge of the Gods by Matt Denian.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's a really good one. Yeah.
I'm still miffed that we didn't get that animated series.
You and me both, brother. But favorite mecha novel? Even though I was giving Zach Cole shit, I actually have only read one myself. It's actually Andreas' own Draco Azul Soulless Blood, which he co-wrote with Ace Merrick.
Thank you very much.
Cool.
Yeah.
You have like 2 or 3 of those novels, right?
3 books now, right?
Yeah.
Full Metal Chronicles, Soulless Blood, and most recently, Death's Gate.
Soulless Blood was the vampire kaiju thing, right?
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah.
I mean, the
I
name
haven't
kind of
read
implies
them,
it.
but I've
glanced at them.
Yeah, I've glanced at them. Yeah.
You should really read it in case my gushing reviews on Amazon and Facebook aren't anything to go by. They're kind of good.
I'm sure they are. I just don't have a lot of time lately.
Sounds like a skill issue, bro.
It sounds like I have a family to take care of.
Look at you bringing logic into this when you really shouldn't. My favorite kaiju video game is also Godzilla Save the Earth. I love that. But a special shout out to War of the Monsters. That game was also pretty fire.
That's one I really wanted to play, but I never could get it.
Do you have a PS4?
No, I have an Xbox.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Oh.
because I was gonna say they re-released it in HD for download on the PS4 PlayStation Store. That, or you can just download a PS2 emulator and just play the game through that means.
I don't have a PC.
Then how are you talking to us right now?
iPad.
Ah. Is there a PS2 emulator for tablets?
I don't know, but I wouldn't want to play it that way.
That's very true.
How pricey is the physical copy these days? I couldn't
Let's
tell
see.
you.
Let me go on eBay right this second while you're talking.
There you go.
Not as pricey as the Godzilla PS4 game. I'll tell you that.
I kept my PS2, and I have my original copy of War of the Monsters, just like I have my original copy of Godzilla Save the Earth, and I also have my original copy of Godzilla 2014, the video game, because well, I'm so much better than you.
You can find a copy of War of the Monsters with the game, with the box, the instructions, and even the included poster for $40 right now, or best offer.
That's not bad.
Alternatively, there are people who are selling it on average for like $14 to $20.
Yeah,
For sure. Right on. I would definitely recommend picking it up if you can and playing it because it's a lot of fun. And big monsters sure do go burr and that really good in that game.
I know.
It might be sacrilegious to say it as a Godzilla fan, but I honestly think War of the Monsters is a way better game than any of the Pipeworks Godzilla games. Because, it's like
controversy here.
Save the Earth is a glitchy mess. I'm sorry to say. I remember just nothing but audio and technical glitches anytime I played Save the Earth on PS2. Unleashed is a mess of a game.
Well,
a lot of
that's your
interesting
problem.
ideas. What's that?
You had the PS2 port.
No. Save the Earth, yeah, because that's the one that came out first.
Is it? I got the Xbox version.
Okay. Well, I did play the Xbox version back then. I never owned it, but I remember it was a much more solid experience.
Yeah, that's why. I think it was originally for Xbox, but ports back then were not great.
But PS2 was a mess. Unleashed was a disaster. Destroy All Monsters Melee is the most solid of the three that I experienced. And I just feel like this is the issue here. The problem was that they were, from what I eventually learned, they were using the Spigot engine, which was not made for 3D fighting games in mind. And that's ultimately what led to a lot of the technical issues that game series has had. Basically, you're trying to make something meant for one type of game, forcing it into brute forcing it into doing a game that it was never designed to be for. Meanwhile, War of the Monsters was developed from the ground up to be the game that it was, and that's why I feel like it has a much more solid, more balanced roster. It has a lot more variety in terms of what you can do in its various stages, and it offers up a more engaging single-player experience. I just feel like overall, on a technical level, while it does not have the characters that I recognize and love from the movies, War of the Monsters is, technically speaking, a better put together game.
I mean, that's fair. I can't think of any counter argument to what you said that isn't true. I forgot how glitchy Save the Earth's PS2 port was until I played it like recently, and then me and my friend were trying to play it. And it's just like, bro, what the fuck?
And did you play
Unleashed?
Did you play Unleashed on PS2?
I did not play it on PS2, but I have not. I've seen footage of it where it's basically just like a weird, like desaturated, watered down looking version of Save the Earth on PS2.
Yeah,
you're not wrong.
I have both the Wii and the PS2 version.
Mm-hmm. To answer Goji's, it looks very, very promising. It looks like these modders came in and were trying to essentially make the game that it's like, what was it? It's like they're making the game that people think they remember. It's going to sound really condescending. It's like those modders are going in and making Save the Earth into the game that people think they remembered. Because, like I said, Save the Earth is not a perfect game whatsoever, and I'm sure any fighting anybody who is well versed in fighting games will tell you that it's far from the best fighting game. So it's like for them to go in and try to turn it into a competitive fighting game with combos and strategies and like a faster speed. I feel like they were just going in and kind of like bringing out the potential that trilogy of games had, and I'm really excited anytime I see progress on that modded game. And I wish the absolute best for that team.
I think they should be hired by Toho to actually make that into a wide release game.
That would be cool, but so far it seems like Toho has zero interest in porting the Pipeworks Software trilogy. Otherwise, they would have done that like a good long while ago.
That's true.
Somewhere in a deep dark corner somewhere, Simon weeps.
He deserves it.
Well,
you deserve it.
Kaiju Combat.
I mean, less said about that, the better. Okay.
Oh, the stories I've heard about that.
Same.
The only thing I'm upset about that project is because Nemesis was a playable character.
Yeah, that it is a shame. Funny enough, it was Kaiju Combat that introduced me to Project Nemesis, and a lot of the characters that came out of that community, and I would eventually end up collaborating with certain people from that community, or just I would see them elsewhere in other projects like Orion's Daikaiju Daikasen during the brief time that it was available.
Yeah.
But it's like it did brought about a lot of interesting stuff, but it certainly is a blemish on the community, especially on the gaming side of things. And Simon clearly has tried to sweep that mess under the rug and pretend like nothing happened. But we remembered, and we will certainly not forget.
Oh, no, we won't.
Never.
Hi, Dean.
But at this point, we don't really need Kaiju Combat anymore because we had Gigabash, we had Dawn of the Monsters, and who knows what else may potentially come from from the indie scene or even the official side of things.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's just kind of sorry to interrupt you.
No.
I just want to say that it's just kind of very funny that Simon wanted to make Kaiju Combat into a game where you can add other licensed characters through expansions and stuff, and that's ultimately the game that Gigabash ended up becoming.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, I've played Gigabash fairly recently, and it's really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Who's your regular character?
I haven't played enough to say. I haven't played it enough to say that there is one.
I mean, I really like playing as Godzilla and Mecha Godzilla.
Oh, you have the expansion.
Yes.
Nice.
I have all but the Ultraman expansions because I'm not too big of an Ultraman fan.
Communist.
I don't hate Ultraman.
I just don't like him.
I'm just not as interested in him as everything else.
Oh, I just got a text. It's for you, Zach. It says, "Get good."
Suck a cock.
I can't. You took all there was to go around.
I'm leaving. Bye.
Oh well. Spilt milk. So, where was I? Oh, yeah. Favorite Mecha video game? I didn't play any. Favorite Mecha comic book? I didn't read any. Favorite Kaiju comic book? Godzilla Rulers of Earth.
Yes.
I like it.
Rulers of Earth is a good one.
Yes.
Though I will say the Kaisei that they just came out with is promising.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely want to read that one at some point. It's just that there's so many comic books and so little time.
I still think the gold standard for Kaiju comics is still The Half-Century War by James Stokoe.
Oh, for sure.
I like that one. I like it. But I don't love it like everyone else does.
How dare you?
Very carefully?
Okay, I guess that's acceptable.
Okay, so question number 3. How did you get started writing kaiju and mecha fiction, or fiction in general? In Zach's case, since your first book wasn't kaiju or mecha, was it? It was a werewolf book.
No, that's not my first book. My
Oh,
first book was a kaiju book.
my apologies. Anyways, go ahead, Andreas. Take it away.
So it all started when I began attending G Fest back in 2014. It was there that I ended up meeting a friend and very influential person by the name of James Biggie. He is a graphic designer as well as an artist. You've seen a lot of his cover work on IDW's Godzilla, G.I. Joe, Ninja Turtles, Judge Dredd, 2080, Transformers, if I haven't already said that. He's worked on a lot of stuff, and he also was the creator of Robot God Akamatsu, a comic that I've been wanting to get into for the longest time. After I met with him, it was through him that he introduced me to other individuals like Matthew Denian, of Atomic Rex fame, Keith Foster, creator of Kadoja, Tyler Souls, who at the time was working on Durantis the Lost Serpent, and later would go on to do Colossal Conqueror, and finally the late great Christopher Martinez, the creator and artist of the meta fictional kaiju comic Fire Beast Dorugan. And it was through those people that really inspired me to want to make something of my own. And around this time, Pacific Rim had already come out, and I was thinking, hey, if this one Mexican director can create his own giant robot fiction, if these people on the indie side of things can do their own giant robot and giant monster fiction, what's stopping me from doing something similar? So around that time, I already had Draco Azul, and Chris Martinez one day asked me, so do you have a story in mind with this mascot of yours? And I said, well, I got a few ideas floating around. And he's like, you should definitely make something out of it. And I was like, really? Okay, I'll give it a shot. So he and his writing partner, Jonathan Claude, they taught me how to format a script, comic script. I put together the script that would ultimately become Draco Azul #1. I showed it to Chris, and I showed it to James. James at one point said, hey man, I see a lot of potential in this. I'm going to help you any way I can to make this a thing. And Chris was also giving a lot of praise towards it, thinking that it was a great start to an ongoing series. And at that point, it really motivated me to want to move forward with it. And eventually, Chris told me this one thing that has stuck with me ever since. He said, Andres, before you get into this, you got to know something. There's no money in comics. And I'm telling you this because I want you to make this comic. But if you're going to make this comic, you need to be realistic about the end result here. Don't do it for the money. Don't do it for the fame, because 9 times out of 10, comic creators don't get any of that. If you're going to make something, make it because you want to make something. Make something so you can be proud of the fact that you can say that you put something out there for the world to see. And it was then that became the large focus, the main goal of what I strive to do with each project. I go into each project not expecting a bestseller. I'm not expecting Draco Azul to become a Ninja Turtles, a Hellboy, or a Spawn in terms of like indie comics that just exploded in popularity. But of course, obviously, I'm gonna work hard to make sure people read my stuff and are aware of my stuff and all that stuff and all that. But ultimately, it was like the focus should be on making art for art's sake, making something because I enjoy the process of making it. And just anybody who purchases it and enjoys what I do, that itself is like a bonus on top of the joy of telling stories.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Chris may no longer be with us, but I still carry his words and wisdom still resonate with me. I still carry that wisdom, and I try my best to spread it to any other aspiring artist and writer out there.
Yeah, I met him in when I met you at G Fest, and he was a really cool guy. Yeah,
He was the best guy, honestly.
I
That's
guess
great advice from a great creative human being. Rest in peace, Mr. Martinez. Thank you for all the wisdom and for all the media that you were able to put out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I can try to give people the same advice, similar advice myself, because, like I said, it's good advice. Do you have any more to add to that, Andreas?
Oh no, that is pretty much how your question was how I got started, and that certainly was how it all began.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Interesting story.
Just want to make sure. Okay, Zach, you go next.
So, I'll start with. So I used to read books a lot as a kid, and I wrote my own Godzilla stories, when I was a kid. But professionally writing, I didn't start doing it until after Project Nemesis. And I read that, and I was like, okay, this is cool stuff. There's kaiju fiction. People are putting out kaiju fiction. So I wrote Tsuchigumo. And I published that, and I don't have a cool story like Andre's.
You just read Project Nemesis one day and said, I want to do this too, and that's what you did. And yet, it just had to be about a giant spider, because of course it was.
Yeah.
It's just a full disclosure, big arachnophobic right here.
Yeah.
So, okay.
I'm a big arachnophobic too, but I like my bug kaiju, which is weird because I hate bugs in real life.
I could see it as a way of you
Dojin, no one cares about your centipede fear.
You can see it as a way of confronting your fear in some way by taking it and turning it into something creative.
Yeah, I guess, because I really love the Legion design. Megaguirus is my favorite Godzilla foe. And there's a dog going off.
Yeah, that's my dog. Sorry.
No,
we have guests over, and I told them I wasn't going to be able to join in on the festivities because, well, I made a commitment. I have responsibilities here.
Hey, Flashy.
So that is what it is.
Yeah. But that's the extent of it.
Right on. For me, I don't want to sound like I'm patting myself on the back because I'm really not. This is just the honest truth. I've been creative my whole life. I've always wanted to tell stories, whether it's through role-playing, going out and actually LARPing as characters, or playing with toys, or writing or drawing pictures of them. Drawing pictures in particular turned into me drawing picture books featuring a bunch of my favorite characters. Then eventually that transformed into just writing without the pictures, and then I figured out how to use a computer and how the internet worked. Autism makes the brain slow sometimes, or fast, depending on the
individual,
case, on the individual, on the case, on the task, all that.
The level.
Yes, and level. And then once I figured out how that worked, I started writing fan fiction, putting it on fanfiction.net, trying to train myself how to write so that I could be ready when I want to write original works.
Feed us. I'm sorry.
But I was enjoying writing fan fiction so much that I sort of got lost in it, and I almost didn't want to...
Are you, though?
I almost didn't want to leave it for a while. But then someone who we all know here knows, Matt Denian, had put out a call on through various Facebook groups asking people if they want to submit a story for what turned out to be the first volume of Attack of the Kaiju. Now, I didn't have a story prepared. At the time, I was just desperate to get booked for publishing however I could. So I just took the first chapter of what was going to be a planned book. I was basically going to take one of my fan fictions and take the fan fiction stuff out of it and make it an original work. And I took the first chapter of that and presented it to Matt Denian, and he said, I love this. you're in, and that got published, and it featured a proto-Zernasia in it, and it just went from there.
Zernasia?
Yeah.
I always thought it was Zernosia.
Oh, well, a lot of people are confused on the name. Some pronounce it Zernosia, some Zernakia, some Zernokia.
Which is funny because your character makes a point of explaining how it's pronounced in the book itself.
And it's for that very reason that I made sure to include, so that people who read will know.
Okay. I'm not a fake fan. I just helped edit the book.
I'm just not a fan in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, what?
No, I didn't help edit. I helped format it. Sorry.
You formatted the book, yes.
Yeah.
And only skimmed through it.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to read my stuff.
I've been meaning to, I swear.
Me?
I have it. I have the book on my bookshelf.
Hello,
in my closet,
darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again. But
why are you shaking, Flash?
He hates my singing.
Yes. He's probably cold. He's wet. Oh. He got a bath after that accident.
So, we all went on our own very interesting journeys, but all ultimately wound up at the same destination. We're doing what we love. We're writing our original stories and putting them out there for everyone to read, even though nobody's reading them. Well, at least for me. I don't know how you guys do, but I don't want to talk about it. I'll start singing depressing songs again.
It tends to be a lot better with in-person sales at conventions.
And yet, I can't seem to get to one because the world hates me.
There's Emerald City Comic Con.
Oh, yeah. Have you gone to one yet?
Not yet, just because work was quite busy around the holidays. But I am planning on potentially making that my next convention.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right. Are you going to All Monsters Attack?
Oh, definitely no. That's a big hell no. I've been to the first one. I've been to the third one, and I've heard nothing but horror stories about the fourth one. So that's enough for me to say, fuck that.
Wait, what?
I get it.
Attack.
I haven't heard anything about this.
Okay. Have either of you been to the All Monsters Attack conventions?
No.
Hosted by the Days of the Dead people?
No.
Well, in the words of Ian Malcolm, there you go. So I know this is going off on a tangent, so I'll keep this real short. Basically, there are continuous problems with the convention. First off, it's basically as much as they deny it, it's basically a meet and greet convention. It's there. They bring on a shit ton of guests from various movies and stuff. And outside of a few Q&A panels, they really offer nothing else like many other conventions do. You go in there, maybe you make your rounds, and after an hour, you're pretty much you've already seen everything.
Huh.
With All Monsters Attack 1, it was in the middle of it was in Indianapolis, in the middle, but it wasn't even in the city. It was like on the outskirts of the city. And a big problem that they continue to have is they do little to no promotion whatsoever on the convention. They'll let months go by where their social media accounts are completely silent. They do zero advertisement to the locals in the area. They do zero collaborations with anyone in particular. They don't personally invite people. It's not like Monsterpalooza where they invite certain influencers to help further promote the show or anything like that. And yeah, the first one was like a lot of people. No, there was not a lot of people there. There was very little traffic at the first All Monsters Attack. I did not go to the second one, but I heard that it was mostly more of the same. I went to the third one, which was in Los Angeles, but they, for whatever reason, they hosted it in the middle of the LAX area. And LAX is one of like the world's busiest airports where traffic is awful. It was also scheduled at the same time as a Metallica concert. So you'd think that they would try to at least, you know, collaborate with them, saying, hey, if you're attending the Metallica concert, you get 25% off tickets here. No, nothing like that. And instead, everyone who went to the hotel that the convention was at were there solely for Metallica. So if they decided to pay and poke their heads in and see what was going on, they're not going to pay for shit because they were there solely, you know, to spend money on Metallica merch, obviously. And yeah, for the fourth one, just nobody made money whatsoever. And so that was like the fourth one for a lot of people, because I know a lot of people did not go to the third one because for one reason or another, a lot of Godzilla artists can't make it over to the West Coast. But yeah, I went there. My friend Creature Preacher went there. We shared a table. It was a shit show. And then from what I hear, the fourth one in particular was the breaking point for a lot of artists who went there. So I know they're hosting it again next year. They're going to do the same thing they did for number 3, where it's half Destroy All Monsters, half All Monsters Attack, half Days of the Dead. But I don't see this working out in any way whatsoever.
And you wanted to go to this, Zach.
I didn't know it was like this.
Dude, talk to anyone who has been there and they'll tell you what it was like. If you go there, you are wasting you're wasting your money. But that's the sad thing. A lot of people were hoping that ever since G-Fest made its no fan art rule, which they don't really enforce, by the way. A lot of artists were hoping that Kaiju or that Destroy All Monsters could be the next, could be a replacement for G-Fest. But unfortunately, it's just not going to happen. They may be reaching out to more guests than G-Fest ever did, but that's all they have. They got guests, and they think that by hiring these guests, that's all the work they need to put to make it a big convention. But it's not. Now, granted, they do somehow still make money off of it. I guess because they put so little money investing into the convention, they somehow come out with a profit in the end because of people who spend enough money on autographs that they still come out on top with a profit. But ultimately, it is just it is a pointless endeavor. I mean, I'm glad I tried it out at least. But it's sort of like the old saying, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So yeah. I'm never going to go to another All Monsters Attack.
Now, with that new information, Zach, I got to ask, are you still going to take the plunge and go?
No.
I mean, here's the thing, Zach. If you decide to go, at least make sure some of your friends are going as well. And if so, do not go as a vendor because you're only going to be wasting more money. In fact, tables have gotten even more expensive than they've ever been. I remember I paid like $200 for my table at the first AMA, and then the last one, at least like I think it was the third or fourth one. No, it was the fourth one. The fourth one, the tables were like $350 or $400, and I'm like, fuck that.
Jeez.
So, $200 I can understand because it's lower than the average price and whatnot. But yeah, once you start going up to like G-Fest levels, or once your tables are at the same price as larger venues out there, then yeah, that's a step too far.
But I'll just wait and go to G-Fest then.
Go to G-Fest, or I do recommend Kaiju Brooklyn at least if you can make the flight out there to New York, because at the very least
I could drive to New York.
That's awesome. Then I would recommend going to Kaiju Brooklyn. It's a growing convention, so I made more sales there than I ever did at All Monsters Attack. But to be fair, this is me being perfectly honest here. It's obviously a small convention. It's a local convention, and it's still growing its audience. And a lot of people who went to Kaiju Brooklyn this year, the third one, they were not making G-Fest money, but the people that I spoke to seemed to want to stick around just to see how the show will do in the coming years. So basically, Kaiju Brooklyn, I feel, shows way more promise than All Monsters Attack ever did. And I know John Bellotti really cares about making it a big show, but only time will tell if the show can grow a big of an audience to where it's worth going there. Because for a lot of people, obviously, they spend a lot of money trying to drive out there or fly out there to the East Coast. And I know that a lot of people tend to live in the Midwest, which is why G-Fest is such a convenient spot for them. But ultimately, yeah, it's still a risky venture, but it's one I'm willing to risk over Destroy All Monsters or over All Monsters Attack.
I get it. The confusion of the different Godzilla movie names. It happens.
Yes. And here's the thing: Destroy All Monsters is another convention in Texas. It's DamnCon, and I know Con. And I know my buddy Davis, Titan Goji, he goes there, as well as Creature Preacher. I've heard good things about DamnCon, but I have not gone to one. So, because it's a one-day convention. Granted, G-Fest, the previous Kaiju Brooklyn was also a one-day con. Now it's a two-day con, which is why I was willing to do both of them this year, or do both that one and this one. But for DamnCon, I'm still curious to see how that's going to pan out.
But when it comes to All Monsters Attack, yeah, that's a con, all right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Your mic's cutting out.
But G-Fest is still the absolute king in terms of like sales and attendance numbers.
I see.
Has the Kaiju Brooklyn convention already happened this year?
Yes, it happened back in June.
I was going to suggest that Zach try for that, but whatever.
There's next year, always. There's always next year.
For sure. So,
right. Yeah, let's continue on. I got maybe half hour.
Oh, okay. For my next question, it's what was your transition to being a known public figure like for you, and how were you able to handle any ups or downs that come with it? Like, how have you been able to handle the scrutiny that you get from becoming visible on a public radar, however big or small? Andreas, you go.
A transition from what to what exactly?
To being a known public figure.
From
being unknown?
Okay. Well, I was already a YouTuber by that point, so I developed a bit of a fan following. So being able to venture out into comics wasn't really anything new to me. If anything, it was interesting because at G-Fests, you'll have people who went from like, I still get, even at this year's G-Fest, I still got people who recognized me as Kaijunoir from the SOS days. And so, but then there are people who are like, oh, hey, I've seen this thing. This comic. I've seen and heard about this comic online. I definitely want to check it out now that you're here. So it's not that big of a change. If anything, it's just all the more amazing to hear that people have heard of my stuff, or there are people who are like, oh, hey, you're Andres Perez, you're Kaijunoir. I'm totally going to support you. So I was lucky enough to have already had somewhat of a following and use that, and that seeing that following transfer over and wanting to support this other thing that I'm working on outside of YouTube, which it's kind of a rare thing I've noticed. A lot of YouTubers, they try to venture out into other business plans, and they'll be like, oh, hey, I don't want to do YouTube anymore. I want to make movies. I want to write books. I want to start a music career. And very rarely does that sort of thing happen, or rarely is that sort of thing successful. And eventually that YouTuber will eventually go back to being a YouTuber. Like I know Joji, Filthy Frank, he managed to break out and do a music career and garnered a whole new audience, completely divorced from his Filthy Frank days. We had, Mr. Beast clearly doesn't want to do YouTube because he's doing everything under the sun that isn't YouTube, like his Amazon game show on Amazon, or his chocolate or his Lunchables ripoff, or his various toys and pop-up burger joints that he starts. But yeah, luckily for me, it wasn't that big of a name. It wasn't that big of a change really when I started writing. But I am still very grateful for all the old and new faces that, or like the people who knew me back then and the people who are discovering me now who choose to support my work. And I'll always be grateful for that.
Well, you definitely deserve it. I gotta say, I was a fan of yours, maybe a stalker, I don't know, when you were a YouTuber, but and I always appreciate the effort you put into your reviews, and I just also appreciate how freaking funny you were. You and all the SOS. I was a big fan of that podcast. Rest in peace, SOS. And,
Thank you.
But then seeing you transition to comic books and seeing how you excelled at that, I'm like, I totally get it. This guy wants to do comic books now, and I don't blame him. You still do live hangouts and whatnot on your channel occasionally, but for the most part, as you told me in our private talk, you're pretty much dedicated to your comic writing and book writing and editing, and I respect the hell out of that because you do a good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, your mic is messed up.
Ah, shit. Hold on. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. I'm going to skip file. I'm going to...
All right. I suppose in this time you can share what it was like becoming a writer for you.
I mean, I don't think I'm very well known at any rate. So, like, I don't really get people like, hey, I know you from this and this. And, like, so not much has changed, really. I'm still kind of a known.
So in a way, you're still trying to establish yourself online.
Yeah, like I have my Facebook page that I don't get a lot of interaction with, I guess. When I put on there, I got this one guy that is always there. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, I got... Yeah, I don't know what else to say.
All right, no problem there. What would you say has been like your best fan interaction so far?
I don't know. My brother had this one guy on his friends list, and he apparently knew who I was. And I was talking to him a little bit. It was pretty cool that he knew who I was and knew about my books.
Cool.
It was on Xbox.
Nice.
Sorry about that. How am I coming in now?
Much better.
A lot better.
Yeah, I am so sorry.
Dude, it was like crackling and like fuzzy. I don't understand what was going on.
Maybe it was a skill issue on my part. That happens.
Yeah, you got a lot of those.
Yeah, I know. I've been hanging around you too long. You started it.
No, I didn't. I took a drink from Cosby.
Well, then, you answered the question while I was gone, right, Zach?
Yeah. Not a lot has changed. I'm still kind of an unknown.
Unfortunately, the same is true for me. I don't know why I chose that question. It sounded good in my head, but except for one guy on Facebook who nobody knows me. Hopefully that'll change one day.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's probably the same guy from our Facebooks.
Yeah, probably. But then again, do I really want it to change? Do we really want people coming up and saying, I love you? Slowly holds up scissors. Now give me a lock of your hair.
I do. What are you talking about?
That's because, well, that's different. You're a weirdo.
I am a weirdo.
Wait, what am I saying? I'm a weirdo too.
Yeah, we're all weirdos.
Hey, speak for yourself, buddy. I am a super weirdo.
Oh! Okay.
He's flexing.
What?
This is the Tism cast. Speak for yourself, Joey.
Yes. Now, what is your guys' creative process? Like, how do you go from an idea to making it like a full-blown story to put out there to be published?
Well, first I bash my head into the keyboard, and eventually something will come out, and I'll be like, "Yeah, that'll work," and then I publish it.
Hey, that's crazy. I do the exact same thing.
Let's see, the writing process. So basically, in most cases, I will have an outline in my head, and I would try to map out from point A to Z. And eventually, once I have the outline, the structure of the story, where the characters are from the start, where they will end up at the end, then I would end up going forward with trying to write something, and then at which point I would then send it to my editors and beta readers to check it out, see what they think, take whatever suggestions they have to heart, and eventually turn it into the final product. And a lot of the times there are like a select few people that I would share my ideas with, saying, "Hey, do you think this is a good idea? Is this an idea worth investing in?" And then if I do get the answers that I'm looking for, then I would go forward with it. In cases like Soulless Blood and Death's Gate, which are collaborations, those are moments where my co-writers would approach me with a Drake was a Light story idea that they had in mind. They give me their pitch, which is usually an outline. I look at it, I say, "Hey, this is pretty good." And then from there, we collaborate and say, "Okay, so let's move forward with this." At which point, we just go from, we're just writing it point A to point B. It's like, okay, I'll write this chapter, you write this chapter, and if there's anything that is inconsistent, I would point it out, saying, "Oh, hey, this character would normally say this or would normally do things in that way." Or if my co-writer would say, "Oh, I have an idea for this," I'll be like, "Oh, that's a good idea." So we're just naturally using each other's strength. We're utilizing each other's strengths to make up for our weaknesses.
It's similar to what me and Cody do for Gore.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Like for the last one, like Laura has a knack for writing very down-to-earth, small down-to-earth character moments that, like I said, they're very small in scale, like say a breakfast scene, for instance. But that breakfast scene would say so much about the characters themselves and their relationship to one another. It's not a scene that I would think of. I'm more thinking about like the large-scale, bombastic action sequences, and that's where I would thrive writing wise. So like using my action scenes and Laura's more character driven focus scenes, we're able to create something that is both action packed and character focused. In the case of my ongoing webcomic, Draco's Little Gaiden, that was a story that I've had in mind for years, ever since I moved from Japan back to the United States. And I always wanted to do a story of Draco's visiting Japan as a tribute to my time living abroad in Gifu City. So I had an idea in mind where it's like, okay, I want to tell a story akin to like an Ultraman movie where a new villain shows up out of nowhere. Ultraman has to show up, fights it once, it escapes, have some character development. The monster comes back, the villain comes back stronger than ever, and finally Ultraman saves the day. So I took that format, wrote a Draco Azul story around it, introduced some new characters. Once I had the script finished, again, shared it with people around me. And once I found my artist, Patrick Miura, aka Duck Artisan on Instagram, then, we just started working together. We instantly clicked with one another. And from there, we just started this amazing project that I'm extremely proud of.
As well, you should be.
Yeah,
I have no complaints about any of your stuff. And I noticed the Ultraman reference inspiration in that Kaiju got in Draco Azul Gaiden. We actually talked about that in private. And where was I going with this? Point is, I like your work, and it seems like whatever your creative process is, it's working for you.
Thank you.
For sure.
Where am I at in that story? I think I just read Impact. That's it. Up till Impact. So I'm like 3 chapters away.
I'm all caught up. Get on my level.
I've been busy.
Oh, so you decide to just because you decide to have a life, decide to have a family? You think that's an excuse?
You think you're better than me, don't you? After Impact, we've introduced 3 more chapters.
Yes, so that's where I left off was Impact, and I really like it so far, honestly.
Thank you very much. And yeah, we are introducing 2 pages every Sunday.
Okay, cool.
Right on.
Oh,
Did you have anything left to add, Andreas, or did you want us to move on?
I'm ready to move on.
Okay, Zach, what's your creative process?
Usually I would just have, until recently with Gore, when we started doing outlines, I would just have like major plot points I'd want to get to, and then just go with the flow, whatever came to mind while I'm writing. But with Gore, what?
Go on. Say what you're going to say.
I was going to say, but with Gore, we kind of came up with ideas together, and I wrote the outline for book 2, and then like half of an outline for book 1 when you took over for book 1.
Right on. I hope that it's you find that to be a good process, and I didn't force that upon you.
The outlines?
Yes.
The outlines are nice, actually. I don't know why I didn't do it before. But
you just didn't think of it. That's how it is sometimes.
Yeah. Can we make this like a 2-parter episode? Because I kind of got to go.
Oh. Joey, what say you, King Gojin?
My tablet's about to die.
Oh, shit.
Oh, he wasn't listening.
He wasn't listening to a thing we said. Zach's got to go, but he wants to know if...
We can continue this another time.
I'll tell you what, Zach. How about you go now, and then you come back, and I'll do the rest of this with you when it's just you and me, okay?
All right, we can do that. I know the family's getting hungry, and I'm getting hungry too, but my tablet's about to die, so.
Understandable. Okay. Tell everyone, pimp out your stuff really quick. Tell everyone what you're doing now and where you can find it and where they can find you.
Right now, we're working on Gore Book 2. We're almost done.
Mm-hmm.
You can find me on Facebook, on Amazon, my stuff on Amazon. Yeah, I have a author page on Facebook you can find me on.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, well, I guess I'll peace out.
Thank you for coming on. Stay awesome, bro.
Yeah, you too. Both of you.
Okay.
Take care, man.
So I guess it's time for me to answer the question about the creative process. First off, is getting an idea. We'll talk about it later, Joey. Right now, me and Andreas are going to finish up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for my creative process, it's coming up with an idea. Sometimes they come out thin air. Sometimes I make a concerted effort. Like recently, I start thinking, man, I really want to make a Henshin hero in the style of like a Kamen Rider or Power Rangers with a giant, or Super Sentai with a giant robot. It'll be a solo hero like Kamen Rider, but with their giant super robot like Power Rangers, or Spider-Man, since he got that ball rolling. And then I have to figure out how to make the different ideas connect. So first I write out the ideas, then figure out what goes in between them. It makes that into one big outline. Then I turn that outline into another outline where I separate the ideas into different chapters. And I also make character profiles, like what the character's name is, how tall they are, what color their eyes are, and what they look like. That's especially good for the Kaiju and the Mecha. It helps paint a clearer picture in your head, so you can help paint the picture in the reader's head. So once I have that outline set, I write down it down in greater detail, and I don't stop until I have all the ideas out that I could get. and then I end up taking some of those ideas out, depending on how long the story runs. So then I read through it multiple times until I think I have the best edited version I could get on my own. Then I pay people to read it for me to tell me how much it sucks. Thank you for that, Andreas.
You're welcome.
But no, Andreas was really good and professional about it. He wasn't mean at all. He actually, him and another mutual friend of ours, a colleague, Dustin Draylen, were the editors for the very first Zernasia book. I'm actually hoping to get them again for the next few Zernasia books. And they gave me great advice and made me think of things that I probably wouldn't have thought without them. So trust in your editors. Don't give them the full power, because it's your book. You have the right to say yes or no about some things, but also these guys are experienced. They know what they're doing, and what's the point of paying them if you're not even going to listen to what they have to say?
Mm-hmm.
So there's that question done. So I guess we'll move on to the next question. We'll actually just make this the last question. Well, second to last. What's the biggest thing you realistically hope to get out of writing your work and getting it published?
What was the question again? What do you want?
What's the biggest thing you realistically hope to get out of writing your work and getting it published?
Most realistic thing I hope to get out of it. I think what I would love to get out of my project would be to eventually finish what is at least the first story arc of Draco Azul. I would like to finish the ongoing storyline. I love to eventually put it out as a trade paperback. And, I would also love to work on future collaborations with other individuals, be it as in the form of crossovers or even more Draco Azul side stories, that kind of stuff. Also plan on producing Draco Azul Gaiden as a trade paperback as well next year, once that series has wrapped up. And realistically, I just would love to continue finishing up the story and just being able to work with many people because I love working on Draco Azul. I love working with other people in stuff related to Draco Azul. And, I just hope to just continue doing what I love doing. Another thing is I would love to get started on working on my second giant robot IP, Bravura, the Wandering Soldier. I've been in the middle of working on a Bravura an outline for a Bravura standalone novel, and hopefully get that off the ground sometime this year. Currently wrapping up the outline, showing it to a few people, like I mentioned before, getting their feedback on it, seeing does this story work? Is it worth pursuing? Where can it improve? And eventually just, hit the ground running on finally getting Bravura its own novel, since I introduced it as a bonus short story at the end of the first Draco Azul book novel, and as part of a crossover with Atomic Rex. So now I'm ready to have a new story with Bravura. So yeah, I would love to get that off the ground and show that I can do more than just Draco Azul.
Right on. I respect that, and I'm glad to hear that. I loved the work you have done with Bravura so far. I loved this short story that you mentioned, and I also loved the collaboration novel that you did with Matt Denian, where Bravura fights his character Atomic Rex. It's all been...
Thank you.
You're absolutely welcome. Y'all know me. I did a big review talking about it, gushing over it.
Oh yeah, we absolutely loved it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. I was honest about some feelings, but nothing like major what the fuck or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that you're dedicating yourself to getting more Bravura media out there, begging pardon, That's good news to me. I love Draco Azul. Never stop with Draco Azul until you decide you've done enough, obviously.
Mhm.
But that bravura, though, and this thing about you saying you're showing the outline to people, can I see it?
To keep your review unbiased, let's not.
Look at you making sense and shit. Fair enough. But I guess what I hope to get most out of my out of writing my stuff and publishing it is literally just that. Being able to make something, do something creative and constructive, put it out there for everyone to say, and I can say, I did that. I'm the one who did that. Seriously, it's getting to publish my first book, which I'm holding in my hands right now as I say this, and being able to look at it and say, I made this. Okay, people helped make it, but I did the bulk of it. These were my ideas that people helped bring to life, and I can't thank them enough. God bless you all. And it's magical. I hokey and corny as that might sound, it's true. It's a really magical thing. So if I can get down, I want to be able to get down as many ideas as I can, write them all, and publish as many as I can before it's over, you know. If I can do that, I'll say that's the biggest fulfillment I could get out of it. At the very least, I want to get the main Zernacia storyline out there, and that's a 10-book long arc. So, wish me luck, everybody.
Good luck.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much. But now, what's some advice you can give young up-and-coming writers that may be watching this live stream or may come across the saved version later on down the line?
Let's see. Never feel nervous about how people may see your work. I know it can be a very scary thing to put your work out there for it to be judged by potentially everyone. But if you are too nervous to put your stuff out there, then you're never going to get anywhere. Eventually, if you want to consider yourself a writer, if you want to make this into more than just a hobby on the side, you're definitely going to have to need the courage to be willing to take on any and all criticism. Now, that said, not all criticism is constructive criticism. You're going to have to learn how to tell the difference between what is criticism that can help you and what is criticism that's not. Because at the end of the day, you cannot satisfy everyone. If you try to satisfy everyone, you're going to satisfy no one. You know, there may be people who will just, say a lot of mean-spirited stuff at you, which luckily has not happened with me. But I've had people who would have criticism and be like, you know what? I fundamentally do not agree with your statement. It seems nobody else does either. So I'm going to respectfully acknowledge the criticism, but not really do anything to address it because I feel like it does not need to be addressed. Especially if no one else has this issue that this one person has. Now, granted, like I said, that is, sometimes there's criticism that can help you. There's some that cannot, and it's up to you to navigate and determine ultimately which are the voices you would need to listen to. And finally, yeah, like what Chris Martinez told me long ago, don't do it for the money. Don't go in expecting big results right out of the gate. Not everyone is going to be, going to have that big break, huge next greatest American novel or whatever. Just do something that you feel speaks true to yourself. Say, tell the story that you want to tell. And if other people enjoy it, that should be the reward. But never stop trying to put yourself out there. No one's going to do it more than you do, unless you hire a publicist, which I don't know anyone who has on the indie level. But you are basically going to be a one-man marketing machine. You're going to have to constantly, shill your book every single chance that you get, and just you're gonna have to constantly like throw your work into everyone's face until people eventually start recognizing it from all the times you've advertised it. Whether it's working on a trailer, working on a hiring someone, offering review copies to certain individuals, or just posting about it as often as you can. Never stop promoting your work, because it's easily going to get left behind along with so many other individuals' work. So yeah, it's a large, arduous process. It's a process where everything's going to be up against you. It's an uphill battle. So get ready to lock in and kick some ass, and never stop promoting your work, because no one else is going to do it for you.
That is wonderful advice. I agree with it all full-heartedly. It actually makes up half of my own talking points I was going to give for this question. So everything that guy said goes double for me. And also, I have a few words of wisdom of my own. Be sincere. Be honest with yourself about what you want to write. Don't go for originality. Go for sincerity. Every story has been done to death, and in every way or form. Now, you can strive for originality, but that shouldn't be like the be-all, end-all. Don't do something that isn't true to you, that you don't think you would actually want to do, that you're forcing yourself to do. And, damn it. And, yeah. Your sincerity will shine through in your work, and I'm sure that people will see it and appreciate your work for that. And for the final part of my advice, to quote my favorite modern professional wrestler, Cody Rhodes, take a chance on yourself. I did. I wrote down my original story. I got it out there. It was a pain in the ass, but I eventually did it, and I hope to do it more. And now, in terms of sharing my visions, my dreams, my creativity with people, I couldn't be happier. So you do that, and I hope the same will be true for you. And with that, I think we're done. I want to thank you very much, Andreas, for coming on to the stream. We had a lot of ups and a few downs. It was a bit of a bumpy ride, but in the end, we got to where we needed to go. Unfortunately, not all of us made it there. R.I.P. Zach.